It's a ute bed in an E30. M3. Sick. Ta-da! Welcome back, everyone. I've just got to start it off by saying thank you to everyone who watched the last episode and the people who have been sending me comments. Very rarely do I get a negative comment, and it's normally people just upset that I've done certain things to an E30. The comments are super motivating. Thank you, everyone. In the last episode, we received the rear quarter. It's just clamped on there. We need to get that bad boy attached, and I just want to do it straight away. So I've got to take the panel off, clean up all of the primer for where the two get smooshed and welded together, and then we weld it on. Let's do it. I've run out. I gotta go get more. I want to make sure I do at least like 3 coats, and I'm out. I'll be back. I'm back. Time to do some more coats. Hole punch. This side, not this side. 6.5 mil drill bit. There may be some of you watching going, Lewis, wouldn't it have been easier to do the holes then put the weld through primer on? Yes, you're completely right. Now I have to re-primer all of the holes that I just did. Yeah, well. Everything is prepped. Well, there's one little bit on the car that I need to do, but both the panels are prepped. Now, when it comes to welding them on, they're fine, but the connection between the inner wheel, or the outer wheel arch, and then the rear quarter, this joint gets panel bonded. I went next door, they've suggested this stuff. This particular one is out of date by quite a lot. So we're going to go get a newer version of this. So then when it comes to doing the panel, I can just glue it and then weld it on at the same time. While I'm out, I'm going to go to a Wreckers to get a fuel filler neck out of an E36 and an E46, because I think they're going to need to be modified to put in, and I think I've tracked down an E31, but it's just a little inconvenient right now. I'll probably pick it up tonight, and then tomorrow I can come back in and work out what's going on with it all. So, but more fuel filler necks, the better, really. All right, I think I've got what I need, but we'll see. So I got 2 filler necks. This one is out of an E46 compact. This one is out of a regular E46. 4-cylinder sedan. I don't know if that makes a difference. They're slightly different shapes, and the compact has a slightly different mounting ring to the sedan. I think these are interchangeable. I think I just need to unpick these clips on both of them and swap them over. I may be able to fold these up flat to a point and then get some kind of fixing plate on the underside of this hole to then screw to. I need to do this first because I may need to drill a hole through here, threads, and then weld. And I can't do that with the rear quarter on. So I think the first step is going to be welding on the wheel arch, tack it on in a couple of spots, and then try and work out which hose we're using and which mounting point we're using. Now I need to put the rear quarter back on and just make sure that that didn't move it in a really odd way. So rear quarter back on, then it back off, and then we'll start going back on with the fuel filler neck. We're good down this end, but that to me looks a little bit bigger. Let's go look at the other one. Yeah, that one's nice and closed. So we're gonna have to do, and look at that gap. So we want to try and get a gap similar on the other side. It's even, but it is like huge. So we're going to need to shut that to close that, and then bring all of this forward. And you can even see just here how far out these were level on the other panel, so we need to close it by 5 mil. But we can sort that out when we're fixing the panel on. Right now we just need to do the fuel filler neck. I am getting ahead of myself with the fuel filler neck. I've picked up an E30 fuel filler neck and remembered that I cut this tab off. There's a tab in there. You're just going to have to believe me. Cut that tab off, which mounts the fuel filler neck, which is a shame. I'm going to have to make a new one. I basically have to make this other ute wheel arch now, then work out what on the outer wheel arch I need to cut off, get that one sitting in there nice and neatly, then make the patch panels that then close up this wheel arch, then work out how to mount the fuel filler neck. And I need to do it in that order because, basically, if I mount the fuel filler neck, that might be in the wrong spot for the wheel arch. I need to know where I cut this wheel arch off to fit this wheel arch off. So this has to be the first step, which means angle grinding and spot weld drilling. Here are both of the wheel arches. So I need to dig these out and just strip everything off of them that I don't need. Because I've got the one on the ute already, I kind of have a better idea of what I do and don't need, so it's just going to be a bunch of angle grinding and spot weld drilling. Lame. I've taken the ute wheel arch out, laid it down so I can see on the back, and I can be very deliberate with these next two on exactly where I'm unpicking. So I can measure from the front to the weld, leaving a little bit more just to be sure, and then just chop that section off of one. Then I can go from one of the details, maybe that bulge, measure back, and then cut to a little bit further than this weld, and be very deliberate because there is a huge amount of metal on these and I don't need to unpick everything off of both. Mark them out, cut them up. Gosh darn it. I hate spot welds. There's half kind of rough cut. Now we've got to do the other half. I've already marked out the inside. We've got some bits on the back, like 4 thicknesses right there. Some bits up there. And then I've got to take the other one out, the already made one, and then work out where I cut around here. That's the 2 sections. I've got a bunch of measuring out to do to make sure that I do this correctly, because I am sick of taking these tubs apart to get to here. This is now the 6th one I've done, and I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I've just got to get this right the first time, because it's going to suck trying to firstly find 2 more tubs and then secondly cut them up. We're in a really good position now. Once I get these 2 made, I can then offer it up, work out where I need to cut on that bigger wheel arch for the fuel filler neck. Then we can mount the fuel filler neck. Then once all of that's sorted, we can then put the rear quarter panel on. And then it is just like panel, 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 bang it all together. Majority of it's prepped, and we can have a ute. Yes! We're nearly at the welding stage. I've gotten my measurements for 1/2. We now have to make sure that this rib is the exact same width as all of the other ones. We can then transfer the mark onto this panel, cut, clean up, and then I can weld it all together. My goal for the end of this video is to have this basically sitting in the car. We are going to have a complete view of how big the tub and the bed in the ute is going to be. That is going to be sick. Just give you a closer look before I clean it all up. A gap opened up here. I've been measuring off this wall to this last rib, and I also measured off from this panel to the very corner of this detail on the existing one, and like they're all spot on. So yes, a gap opened up. I filled it with some weld, good to go. Now there are other ones that I'm going to have to clean up because I was impatient when I was drilling out the spot welds, but they can be fixed up later. The goal is get this in. Good start. Okay. The question is, do I cut it the same as the other one, or do I cut it to suit this side specifically? And I don't know the answer to that yet. I think I'm going to take some measurements off the other one, height, all that kind of jazz. This, yep, you can see that. This detail is cut straight across, so I might cut all of that off. I can't cut that off yet because I need to move it in further. I think we cut this off so we can get it at least all that way. Check, check, check. I think this is it. No, I gotta go that way first. Ta-da! Yeah, that's sick. Okay. Whoop. Check, check. Yeah, cool. Ooh. Get out of here. I don't know how I did that. This is pretty cool. Like, you wouldn't be able to lay down and sleep in here and stretch out, but I mean, it's a ute bed in an E30. M3. Sick. Woo. All right, so in the next episode, we've got to clean up this wheel arch, fill up the holes that need to be filled up, prep it, sand it. Actually, that's fitting in there without actually needing to take any of that. I think that wheel arch lines up with this face. That's crazy. Yes, another win. Okay, so if that's the case, all I need to do is make a patch panel where I've cut the inner wheel arch, inner E30 wheel arch out, and then we can mount the fuel filler neck. Then we can attach this rear quarter. Then we can attach all of these other panels that I've got to put on. What else? You could go and check out the Patreon page. Daniel Y, I shot you a message over Patreon. Can you just check your Patreon messages so we can discuss the steering wheel? What else? Whew, this is so cool. Thank you again to everyone watching. I'm feeling a little lighter and breezier now that we don't have the stress of the panel, and we can just start cracking on with this thing from here on. We can, I kind of have a goal of getting all of the panels on within the first 3 months, well, within 3 months of having this rear quarter. It's been a week, we've made another panel, and we're gonna start fixing them on in the next episode. So thank you very much again to all of my Patreons, everyone watching. This is sick. Cheers. I think I might just sit here for a little while. I wish I had a beer. Whew. That would be good.